I think it's ridiculous even when they try to say things, all these conversations about oligarchy. Now, Bernie and AOC, they can go out there and say, fight the oligarchy.
Yes.
Hakeem, Jeffries, you can't say that. Okay, like cut it out. We know that you've taken so much money from corporate donors, so it's just weird to see them, push back against oligarchy now and say, "Look at the billionaires controlling Trump." It's like, really?
Yeah,
Hakeem, really? Chuck Schumer, really?
Last week, Cenk went on the Breakfast Club to talk about Rebellion PAC, and as you just saw, Cenk and Charlamagne Tha God discuss the topic of corporate Democrats. Now, Cenk, here in the Young Turks, we'll call out both sides of the aisle for corruption, but how has the media been portraying that exchange that we just saw?
Yeah, so look, this is a super interesting phenomenon because we do a 42-minute interview. It's great. It's about Rebellion PAC. We call it Democrats that are too corporate and too establishment, et cetera. We call it Republicans. We call out Trump. We call it everyone that's doing wrong, and we give a positive solution, which is, hey, why don't we do populism right? Economic populism, the core 6 issues that are the populist plank on that are on TYT, Rebellion PAC, et cetera. And Charlamagne loves it. We even talk about being on the advisory board, et cetera. So we talk about Jon Stewart might run for president. Ro Khanna might, look, we want him to run, let's be more accurate about it. Ro Khanna would be amazing in that light, and he's joining Rebellion PAC. But the press doesn't talk about any of that. Fox News sees a 30-second clip where we're criticizing Democrats. They put that up because right-wing media is constantly looking for criticism of Democrats to highlight. Now, but what's interesting, Jordan, is not just that they do that, but the other 2 things that happen. One is, once right-wing media covers something, then mainstream media will cover it. If left-wing media covers something, mainstream media has no interest in it, none, zero. Won't ever cover it. We launched Rebellion PAC, haven't gotten a single article yet. It's amazing. We've got these amazing candidates. We've got sitting congressmen all over media. People are abuzz about it. I'm in DC, and senators are telling me, I heard about it. It's interesting. Other congressmen are thinking of joining, but mainstream media, absolutely silent. Why? Because it came from the left. But the minute the Fox News did a segment on a 30-second part of that interview, then all of a sudden mainstream media start covering. It's so frustrating, right? And there's also nothing in reverse, where someone sees something positive about the left wing, and then they create an echo chamber around that. God forbid, no. So that never happens. So that's why what you see in media is so skewed, and often comes from a right wing perspective. Does that make sense, Jordan?
It does, and we've got more of that Breakfast Club appearance to cover. But first, here's a look at how Jeffries and Schumer talk about the Trump administration. Take a look.
Today began the long budget process, and it became very clear what the #1 goal of the Republicans is: to give their billionaire buddies a tax break and have it be on your back. We Senate Democrats are going to expose them. We're going to lift up the curtain and show that everything else they do is to help hide the fact that their billionaire buddies are going to get a tax break under their proposal.
They've already taken so many different reckless votes as it relates to the budget resolution that initially passed in the House. That's the largest Medicaid cut in American history. Now they're trying to dismantle Social Security, undermining veterans' benefits, literally trying to take food out of the mouths of babies by cutting nutritional assistance. And what is this all being done for? To enact a massive tax break for billionaire donors like Elon Musk. The whole thing is a Ponzi scheme.
Now, Jeffries and Schumer would know a thing or two about billionaire buddies, as Cenk and Charlamagne talked about on the Breakfast Club. Here's the clip.
These donors run the whole place, and we know it. So if you're a Democrat, don't tell me the donors don't run the place. You know what Hakeem Jeffries was just doing? We just reported on the Young Turks. He just collected $1.2 million, went over to the bankers. Like one of them had to pay a $6 million fine for ripping people off. Another one had to pay like some gigantic, like $60 or $600 million fine because he ripped people off. And he's like, no, it's all good. I got money from corporations. No, it's not all good. I don't want that money. That money's toxic. Chuck Schumer talking about billionaire buddies. He's like doing talking points like, oh, Republicans and their billionaire buddies. Hey, brother, come on, man. How many billionaire buddies do you have?
Exactly.
Right?
And here is how Fox News Digital framed that conversation. Here's their headline: Charlamagne tells Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, to cut it out over hypocritical oligarchy concerns. The piece makes no mention of any Republican politicians who take money from big donors. But both sides are corrupt. Of course, we know this, and the American people are deeply unhappy with their leaders in Congress. New polling found that they're all underwater. 32% of respondents in a CNN poll said they had an unfavorable opinion of House Speaker Mike Johnson, while 23% said they viewed him as favorably. 27% of respondents had an unfavorable opinion of Jeffries, to 20% who rated him favorably. Senate Majority Leader John Thune polled at 26% unfavorable to 16% favorable. And 44% of respondents said they had an unfavorable opinion of Schumer, while 19% said they viewed him favorably. Those percentages don't add up to 100% because many respondents had never heard of these people or had no opinion. But Cenk, of the people who do know who they are, it seems like a majority of Americans across the board don't like the leadership in Congress in either side.
Yeah, there's this trippy thing going on where in the media, you have to be binary. You either have to hate Trump and love every Democrat, otherwise you're a traitor, or you have to love Trump and hate every Democrat, otherwise you're a traitor. That's what you see in social media and media almost across the board, right? But when you actually ask the American people are like, no, really, I can't stand the corruption on either side. And no, I don't like Democratic leadership, but hey, guess what? I don't like Republican leadership. So I'm with the majority of Americans. And so look, we asked like on the live chat poll, who's more corrupt in their leadership? Democrats, Republicans, or both equally corrupt? And equally corrupt is winning. Look, I would argue these days Republicans are a little bit more corrupt because Trump is adding personal corruption on top of the systemic corruption. Oh yeah, give money to my meme coin, to my media company, to my campaign, and I'll get rid of white collar criminal charges against you, fraud, etc. We've shown you he's done that now a great number of times, over and over again. People charged with fraud where they give money to him, and he's like, oh, double the fraud, great, now you can go free. So that's layered on top of the systemic corruption. But when the partisans on both sides claim that their side is spick and span, totally clean. No, I know Mitch McConnell takes $1 billion, but he doesn't deliver for the donors. Oh, only Nancy Pelosi does. Or Nancy Pelosi's an angel. She takes $1 billion, but it doesn't corrupt her at all. It only corrupts Mitch McConnell. Now Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries. No, it's absurd. Okay. Jordan, for 23 years on this show, we have been trying to get Americans to see they're all taking the corporate money, they're all taking the donor money, and they're serving those donors. And the media has blocked this and blocked this and blocked this. And oh, that's a conspiracy theory that billions of dollars would affect honorable politicians. I mean, on which planet do mainstream media reporters live? So, I mean, if you look at that clip, you criticize Charlamagne or myself, etc., for saying, how dare you? You should only criticize Republicans, and Democrats are all angels. When Hakeem Jeffries goes and begs Silicon Valley tech guys for money, and he goes to Wall Street and begs the bankers for money, he would never do anything they want. You're really on a different planet, guys, super different. And if you're a Republican, you're rejoicing over us telling that truth, and you think your guys are clean, you think Trump is clean. Now, we gotta get to a place, man, where we talk about truth and we talk about honesty and not this blind, ridiculous, indefensible partisanship. Jordan, last word to you.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And I mean, the Fox headline and framing is hilarious because they all know that Elon Musk largely funded Trump's campaign, and now he is in a position in this government to cut all of these programs. I mean, that's what Hakeem Jeffries was talking about. That's what Schumer was talking about. But they're just going to look right past that because they want to zero in on Democrats because they're just a messaging arm for the right. And I appreciate TYT is just like I appreciate other progressive and independent outlets who will call out this type of corruption on both sides because that's what we need if we really want to get rid of this problem. And you see some bubbling up on the right. Some people are starting to turn away from corporate and PAC donations. Some people are trying to run small dollar campaigns. And while I don't agree with their politics, I'm glad they're doing that. We need all politicians to do that. I think in the long run, we would see better policy outcomes if all politicians are relying on small dollar donations, because then they're in the pocket of Nana and Peepaw and their $20 donations rather than ExxonMobil, Wells Fargo, and all these other Fortune 500 companies that are just buying and selling these politicians.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.